Okay, all recording, good to go.
Hi, Dr. Amir.
Welcome and greetings to you. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
I'm so happy and so grateful that you made the time for us to meet and
Of
have
course,
a hopefully a highly inspired meeting. I'm
of
completely
course.
unprepared because I have this little puppy here. He wasn't giving me any
Uh,
time to think.
Puppies are welcome. I think we've got the blessings from nature, and your wonderful little puppy is giving us the message.
Yeah, I think he's a little dragon. Like
Oh,
when people see him, they're like, "What is he?" And I'm like, he just don't see his wings, but everything
yes,
else is.
absolutely. Little dragon puppy. I love that.
So, I don't know, like people know you already. You are really a wonderful, very powerful healer and very ancient soul, I can tell. And one of the volunteers who came here to help people and uplift humanity. And what I really find so beautiful is how you wake up the inner child in people. Um,
Absolutely.
you
Yes, yes.
spark their imagination and make them remember how wonderful they are. We are really living in a dream, and you can be anything you want, and nothing is too far-fetched. When you
That
tell
is so
people they're
true. That is
fairies
so
or
true.
guardians of the ocean or bodyguards of the divine.
Yes, of course. So we all have this magnificence within. There's nothing missing. No wisdom, no power, no rites of passage. It's all here now.
Yeah,
And so all that we really need to do is to remember,
yeah,
remember who we are, what the order of our wonderful soul is, and of course, remembering our connection to Source.
absolutely. Yes. And I can feel right now we have a huge energy shift in progress.
Yes.
Solar flares hitting us and just particles from the universe, from the cosmos. And at the same time, there is this dark force that is trying us not to receive and benefit and grow from it. So we're constantly being bombarded with like, look over here, the drones, and look over there, disclosure. And even the alternative and the spiritual people tend to fall for it and they go outside of themselves and look for answers and create all kinds of scenarios and theories instead of going within, which is
Yeah.
really important right now.
Absolutely.
Absorb this
Absolutely.
energy
Yeah.
and use
So
it.
there's a problem of information overload.
Yes.
And so not all of it is clean and true information.
Mhm.
This is one of the tactics of, let's say, the self-serving beings who are invested in this system of control.
Mhm.
Sometimes they go even further with disclosure. Oh, look at all this mind-blowing technology that we have had for hundreds of thousands of years, and you're helpless against it. And there's one answer that replies to all of this.
Mhm.
It is that I don't care. I am connected to source. So
Absolutely.
that living dynamic brilliance of sources in all of us, that is superior to any technology.
Yes. And it contains everything. Like, they gave us technology to actually uh, keep us from developing the potential within us. You have your cell phone to telecommunicate or be telepathic, all these devices that make you not develop what's already the potential that you have.
Yes,
And
yes.
probably in ancient civilizations, people were very, um, it was just a natural thing to do.
Um,
Um,
the shape of the game changes, but the nature of it is the same. So
mhm.
nowadays we are plugged into our 9 to 5 jobs, paying bills and taxes, and the modern, let's say, family unit and social interactions now enhanced by technology. And so these are all consuming. In the past, there would be other issues like finding enough food, surviving the
Mhm.
winter, shelter. So they had their own challenges and difficulties. Something that seems to be constant is that if you set aside some time and calm the mind and open the heart, then that flow begins. And that is such a wonderful thing. That
Yeah.
is really the answer.
Yeah.
It's the answer to our healing, it's the answer to our liberation, and ultimately the answer to continuous evolution.
Right, to continuous evolution and to exit duality. We're so much caught up in duality, and we have to remember that there is an oversoul that we're connected to, and even higher than that, the source creator. And the goal should be to be one with it. And life just starts to flow when you are connected to source, because you don't have to think so hard. Am I doing the right thing? What's next? You just know.
Spot on.
You're
And
being
so
guided divinely.
the human being is more than just the physical. And
Hmm.
so, in order to help us survive in physical reality, we have the wonderful brain. But that's the extent of its responsibility and what it really can do. Of
Hmm.
course, there are other levels to our being, energetic structure to the human body, and then also higher levels of consciousness, all the way to the beloved source.
Yes.
And so, what we really need to achieve is unified consciousness.
Hmm.
The brain is valid. Our emotions and instincts are valid.
Hmm.
They all have their place. We're not suppressing any of these.
Hmm.
But then instead of overburdening the poor brain with spiritual concepts of an infinite universe, we use those aspects of consciousness that are here. And
Precisely.
so sometimes this flow of information gets damaged.
Hmm.
This could be through trauma or through energetic damage or quite simply through wrong belief systems.
Exactly. You get from birth on, you get disconnected bit by bit from this, what comes natural for a human
Yes.
being.
And
And
so, unfortunately,
exactly.
the damage doesn't begin at birth.
Hmm.
So the energy structure contains ancient injuries. So, for example, a bad breakup 25 lifetimes ago, you haven't
Hmm.
healed it, and still it's coming. Although you've shifted through many bodies, the residue of that injury remains. But then there's also levels of implantation, energetic implants in the body. And this process begins once the sperm and the egg mix and the first cell is created. By the time we are born, 90% of the damage is already done.
Wow.
Then, depending on the bloodlines we enter into
Hmm.
from the paternal and maternal side, there may be all sorts of karmic and spiritual attachments. So we're
Coded
born into a very
in.
difficult situation.
Yes, yes, I agree with that 100%. And that's why one of the some of the work that I do is clearing, emotional clearing. So I help facilitate to clear this, and also with the help of Karuna Reiki, which is a system that goes the works on past lives. I don't see past lives as in a linear way. You have probably multiple manifestations, uh, where your soul spark is in it, and you are just experiencing so much. And in every experience, you also receive injury, and you close up, and you get blockages.
Yes,
And actually, the older you are as a soul, the heavier it becomes if you
correct.
don't work on it, if you don't clear it, and even do shadow work.
Yes,
Um,
yes, yes.
yeah.
Well, that is very true. But the good news is, even one lifetime is enough to deal with all of it.
Wow.
If you keep searching, the answers will come. It's
Mhm.
it's one of the laws of the universe. In fact, it's one of the hermetic laws that has been censored from the public intentionally.
Mhm.
It's the law of liberty, meaning if you reach to the light will reach back. That is the
Right,
law.
right.
So once you set that intention out to find the answer to a certain question, it must appear to you. And so if that is set towards self-healing and balance, this is achievable.
Mhm. What I experienced and also through my work, strongly believe in is that I don't like the word, but it's very beneficial when you work on your vessel to become the best conductor it can be, to keep purifying your vessel. One of the very beneficial, very good ways to achieve it is through body work and stretching and Tai Chi and Qigong, and because then you can speed this process up and you clear those blockages. You don't always have to think and understand where does this blockage come from or understand the storyline behind it, but it's more like an energy. And when you start feeling the energy, you become aware of it and you do certain holding postures and the body starts to vibrate or feel pressure or pain and you work through it. You keep holding the posture and the blockage just dissolves.
That,
And
that that is that is very true. So you can't achieve that evolution and liberation without focusing on the body.
yeah.
And so this is very clear. If you want to do a healing with a person, and if you're in a, let's say, if you have a bad flu, or if you haven't slept well, or if you're going through some sort of a, let's say, emotional and physical challenge, the quality of your work is going to come down. Then the opposite is true. If you're happy and you're healthy, you're well rested, well grounded,
Mhm.
and well prepared, then you can do your best work.
Yes, and speaking of which, now is the perfect time to get rest, to get grounded, because it's the middle of winter time. And we're supposed to think, oh, it's the new year, and I have all these resolutions. I have to go to the gym, and I have to do this and achieve that and start my business. But you don't have to push yourself at this time. It's actually much better to go within and let the energy do the work on you and love yourself. Create lots of magical moments in your life with some nice tea, grounding tea, meditation. Just nurture yourself. It's so important to do it at this time and not fall for these distractions or pressures. And especially now, if I just may add, we are in Mars retrograde until February 23rd. And what that means is that your energy feels kind of stagnant. You might feel a little burned out. And it just shows you that you should go within. And another thing that it does is that you may get easily triggered. And that is another test. And the universe is showing you where you still have to work on. And it's better instead of reacting, going within and just processing it.
I think that is true.
Until it goes.
Many, there's so much talk about shadow work and healing the inner child,
Mhm.
but it seems nobody is talking about healing the inner animal.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, the body. This has billions of years of wisdom through evolution and design
Mhm.
in it. So people neglect the physical body in terms of rest, nutrition,
Mhm.
um, and getting a massage, the importance of touch, loving touch, um, the importance of respecting the seasons,
Mhm.
being connected to nature, as you wonderfully said, just slowing down in the winter. Now, people who still live in, let's say, Northern Europe, in Scandinavia, or let's say locals in Alaska or maybe Siberia, they're aware of this. They know exactly how to do such a thing. Now, this becomes less noticeable towards the equator, where it's always warm. Respecting cycles of nature,
Mhm.
the grand cycles of time, astrological cycles, awareness of this. But again, this is not something that one needs to read in a book. It's just listening to what the body wants. So if the body says, I need 17 hours of sleep during the weekend, that's what you got to do because you are
Right.
probably exhausted and there's some repair and upgrade waiting to happen. And then other times you feel full of energy. Hey, have at it. Yeah, party like crazy, work like crazy. Yeah. So that this is true. Neglecting the body is a recipe for later problems.
Yes, and even these all these theories about reincarnation and soul trap tend to take us out of the body because we think about something in the future or in the past or what are we going to do when that time comes instead of being in the now and
Correct.
listening to what your body needs now. And you don't only have that meat suit, you contain all these other sheath bodies, like the astral body, the light body. I don't know, I think there are 5 different bodies, and they all are interconnected. And probably when you pass, you may leave the meat suit behind. It disintegrates with the earth, but the other energy bodies, they go with you.
Yes.
And the work that you do in the present moment affects those bodies, and you grow spiritually when you really focus on yourself and not so much on
That is,
doctrine.
that is true. I really agree with this. It is important. Um, so the most complete and clean form of spiritual evolution that I've come across. It's a very ancient modality. The name is Kujikiri,
Mhm.
but so other than this is a Japanese name, but it's practiced in ancient China, also in India. It's very old, and I mean pre-Earth old. It's a gift to humanity for when they are sufficiently evolved to use it.
That's amazing.
Absolutely, this starts with the base of the pyramid is reclaiming our place as a member of the animal kingdom. This is super important. So there are many humans that their mind is jumbled up. They don't know who they are, where they're going. They cannot survive in nature. And so they go below the level of a healthy animal. So
Mhm.
that's the foundation. Okay, body, we take care of it. And then comes healing abilities. Animals have this.
Mhm.
You don't believe, go swim with a dolphin, hug a thousand-year-old tree. Oh, you
Mhm.
better believe they can heal.
Absolutely.
But then comes becoming a member of humanity, and that comes with artistic creativity. So we create beautiful paintings and music, literature. This is what separates us from the rest of the animal kingdom. Then taking responsibility. That is the height of being human. And so you mentioned all these belief systems about soul traps, and that's giving away power, meaning taking the place of a victim, blaming everyone and everything, and not taking responsibility. So, of course, there may be things in reality that are not pleasing, they are not acceptable, but we're behind the driver's wheel. We
Yes,
can absolutely change it. So that is the height of being human.
yes, yes.
And then we leave humanity behind in the level of the heart. We
Mhm.
evolve beyond almost all humans. And it's not about, so heart is associated with love, but this is very badly misunderstood. Some think of it as lust and sexuality. They're not the same thing. Some think that love is something you give and you must return in equal share. It is not an exchange. It is not a transaction. It's all about consciousness.
Mhm.
So we see all that there is as consciousness, whether it's a stone, a lake, a mountain, a tree. And in that way, then the floodgates open, communicating with the spirit realm and with nature. And of course, every cell in our body. But then we go up higher to the level of truth.
Mhm.
Truth of the cosmos is already within us.
Mhm.
That's our bullshit meter,
Mhm.
right? There's so much rubbish going around that causes confusion, waste of energy, and waste of time. So this is important. And then focusing on the jade gate, back of the head, base of the skull, that is when we transcend a single universe,
That's
meaning
amazing.
duality is left behind. And the whole thing regarding that is identity or ego.
Mhm.
And so once that is broken, meaning that I know that I'm not only just a male of a certain age, of a certain race, of a certain background and religion, those are all broken away. There's an
Mhm.
acknowledgement that I am you, I am everything, I am everywhere. Now, there you become truly multi universal. Then there's the manifestation, and then there's the last key that is Zen, connection to source.
Mhm.
And so this is not an easy process. It takes a while, but it works. It's one of the ways to liberation. I've tried so many forms of magic and spiritual practice. Unfortunately, many of them have become distorted
Mhm.
over time. This seems to be clean. So it's a recommended process.
How do you learn that? Or are there any books about this or?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I learned this from a Grand Master called Maha Vajra. He's got a YouTube channel and he's got many other topics with relation to Qigong, force combat, healing, advanced topics on Buddhism. So credit where credit is due. That's where I learned it. I
Very
do also teach this after a decade of working on it myself. So I've got my own experiences and way of looking at it. But there's no need for a teacher. One of the things that makes this brilliant is that you can learn it yourself.
like I'm curious when you make progress in this, I would call it system, does your perception of reality change?
Yes,
Um,
yes,
mhm.
yes, yes. So it's based um, on nine energy centers in the body. You repeat certain mantras for each location. So say we're starting at the root, becoming a true, vibrant animal, respecting our body, emotion, instincts. And so the meaning of the mantra is I see all there is truthfully.
Mhm.
So simple, but oh my God, this is powerful. Now, whatever is in the conscious mind, subconscious, unconscious, emotional body, and the energetic levels of the vessel, through repetition, you're breaking it down and washing it away. So it's a repetition game. For what it's worth, at this moment, we have a certain amount of willpower.
Mhm.
And so we're just exerting that over and over and over. It is truly powerful. But then it has other more subtle magical effects on the vessel. And everything I can do in terms of manifestation, healing, spiritual warfare, portal work, it all uncovered itself after this process and it never stops working.
So is it infinite or is there a level that you reach and then you say you've mastered it?
Oh, it's infinite.
Mhm.
There is no upper level to evolution. But one round is enough to get you going.
Mhm.
And once you, and it's not easy, it actually kicks your butt. It causes a storm in your reality, people, things, beliefs, ideas that are not serving you. They're purged. But once the dust settles, you get back up on your feet and you look around and you say, oh my God, I needed that. Yeah. So,
Not for everyone because you have to have courage to
yeah.
do practice like this.
But my wonderful friend, that is true for anything worthwhile.
Oh
You
yeah,
can't be afraid.
no,
You
no, I
can't, you can't, you
yeah,
know,
I
one
went.
cannot be afraid and one cannot be lazy. We should not fear pain. We should not fear the illusion of death. That's all traps upon the mind.
There's nothing to fear really.
Spot on.
Yeah, so yeah, I went through my share of dark night of the soul and all kinds of stuff. And oh my God, when you're going through it, it's hell.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to miss it for the benefits that I gained and the insights and the
Yes.
change, the transformations.
That's it is necessary. You will probably agree with me, but both of us are masterful healers. Now, in order to heal something, you have to have felt it completely.
That's true. That's true.
It's the
They
price you
also
pay.
a wounded healer that the healer has goes. It's even like in the shamanic tradition.
Yeah, yeah,
They go through so many things
yeah,
and experience diseases and face
yes,
death.
yes, yes. They go into the underworld,
Yeah,
interact with all the beings of darkness, and then they come through aware and able to deal with everything.
yeah. You develop a thick skin.
Yes, yes, yes. And if you survive, you are a force of nature.
Mhm. Beautifully said and true,
Yeah, yeah. People
isn't
should
it?
they should get used to welcoming and facing that which they fear.
Yes, yes.
Um,
I in my spiritual let's say journey, on my journey, I've seen it myself that I started to embrace the difficulties. And
yeah,
sometimes it makes no sense. And you think like, why am I experiencing these hardships or these losses? But somehow there's a bigger picture to it all, and everything happens for a reason. And you just have to keep your spirit up. And what also helps, keep cultivating your energy and keeping your vessel strong. Don't don't get fall into depression and neglect your
yes,
vessel
yes,
and your
yes,
spirit. Just
yes,
keep it up, even if it's difficult. But as you said before, if you feel you need to sleep for 17 hours, go
yes,
ahead,
yes,
do it.
yeah, yeah,
And
yes,
it helps
absolutely.
a lot. It changes
And,
things.
and yeah, and there's most of the lessons that really, really powerful beings they struggle with relate to self-love
Mhm.
and the notion of love. They just want to help everyone to the level of self-sacrifice,
That's
and,
dangerous.
and and that is a big mistake. It took me a
Mhm.
while to learn how to love correctly.
Mhm.
And so it's one extra procedure at the top of the list that all love begins with self-love. And then, if you're overflowing with this wonderful energy, let that wash across the cosmos and serve everyone and everything.
And it happens automatically because your frequency rises. And then everywhere you go, everyone you interact with, you basically they're receiving something from you also. And I
Yes,
had the I had the great fortune to be around some grandmasters. They're kind of not, in the public. It just happened like somehow I was meant to be with them for a while. And one time I received a healing from one of these grandmasters, and he put his hand on my solar plexus, and something happened. Like his enlightened being just transferred over to me, and I lit up like a light bulb. I could feel it, and then we went down. Which kind of went down a mountain, and there were some other people that could see us from the distance. And they're like, what happened to you? Because I had such a
oh, yeah,
glow around.
yeah. Yes, that
And
that's really
it was an
beautiful.
experience that I know we can, that's how it should be. That's how we should feel as human beings. But it just doesn't last, is the problem.
That's the thing, though. The healer is not carrying anybody. They're not dragging them up the mountain. They're not doing the work for them. It's
Mhm.
just a reminder. Hey, beloved soul,
It's a reminder, you're right.
this is your natural state.
Yes.
Now I'm putting you down. You know where you're going.
And
And so
that's
it,
and
it's,
because it's so pleasurable, so blissful,
oh,
and you feel
yes, yes.
floating on air. It you don't forget. And like I when I keep going on my spiritual path, I can get there, and it will stay with me.
Wonderful. Yes, that memory, that just breaks all illusion. Now you know where north is or where your direction of travel is.
Yeah.
And so that's you mentioned that it is enjoyable. It's really interesting that the body translates certain types of energy in different ways.
Mhm.
So if you're doing Reiki, it may feel heat.
Mhm.
It doesn't know what to make of it. It says, okay, it's probably heat. Now let's start sweating. So this happens. There's another type of energy, which is the energy of life. And once that comes into a healthy body, what you feel is pleasure.
Mhm.
It is unbeatable, unmatched by anything physical. And
Mhm.
so that can be achieved through the practice of Tantra.
Mhm.
Now, there's a big misconception about Tantra, and especially the West, people think it's just a way to have longer orgasms. It's the energy of life that is enjoyable. So it's the whole body going through a systems check. The body and soul communicate, both give each other the thumbs up, and what you feel is this incredible well-being. It's called that moment of samadhi,
Mhm.
that ultimate bliss, and it is absolutely achievable. So more people need to experience these things. Now imagine a healer or a teacher, or let's just say, let's put them in the correct words, somebody who reminds you and gives you just a little glimpse of that perfect state of health, that's a perfect state of bliss.
Yeah.
Once that happens, nobody can tell you it was false. You know it's true. And so
Yeah.
you're on your way towards, reaching that again.
Right. But I feel you don't necessarily remain in that blissful state. You still go back and go about your business as
Correct.
before.
Correct.
You can easily re-enter that state when you meditate and you allow the energies to flow.
That
But
is
it's
true.
not like you're just blissed out for the rest of your life after that.
Unfortunately, no. But it's a good motivation,
Yeah.
knowing that these certain states of consciousness actually feel amazing,
Hmm.
where the body is rejuvenated, miraculous healing occurs.
Hmm.
So that genius of the vessel, which includes incredible healing, that is activated. And
Yeah.
so that's something else probably worth touching on, that all healing is done by the self, by the person. Now, sometimes something is pushing you off balance and preventing that healing to begin. And so, whether it's through a chemical or through a pill or through radiation or through touch or through energy, that blockage can be removed for the body to do its thing.
Hmm. I agree. Yes. Yes. And like when you do Reiki for people, or like I also do the energy facilitation. I like to really
Yes.
emphasize I facilitate. I don't heal you, I
Uh-huh.
facilitate. I help open the channels and help send some energy to you, and then the energy does the work and the person works with the energy. It's like an incredible intelligence, just like the body knows how to heal a wound or grow a bone back together. You don't have to consciously think about it. It just
Yes.
happens automatically.
Yes, absolutely correct. Yes. And sometimes after energy clearings, so you clear blockages, the person may go back to old habits.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
the way I describe it is an energy car wash. They come in one
So
side and they go out with a mirror polish, and then they go driving in the mud. And then they think, why is my vessel not clean anymore? Come on, dude, give me a break. So
yeah, they
good
have
practice, it has to be done by the person.
Yes, it has to. That's why it's always good to give them a to-do list, not an overwhelming one, but just how to maintain
Yes, yes, yes,
maintain that and not lose it. Because it's just like they have this car wash, they feel amazing. That could be a
yep,
blissful feeling. And then
yes.
they go, as you say, I'm just repeating after you, paraphrasing, because it's so true that it's up to everyone. You have to take responsibility for your own health.
Responsibility, the height of humanity associated with your solar plexus. And again, all these notions, they're out there, but there's such an overload of nonsense. People don't know what is right and wrong.
Yeah.
That responsibility is a beautiful thing. So
As
what was
you
I?
as you mentioned that not knowing what is right or wrong, I mentioned that before to you, if you would be okay with it, that we did a tiny bit of energy work together,
Sure,
which
sure
the
thing.
audience can participate in.
Yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
because when your blockages are cleared and the energy flows and you connect to your higher self or the creator, you automatically know what's right or wrong.
That's discernment. It's a result of unified consciousness harmonics.
Yes.
Your gut feeling, the nervous system, in the digestive tract, the heart, the brain, but also non-energetic components. There we go. We're already doing
I
the
got the
prep work for some
calculator.
proper healing.
There you go.
Okay, so to our wonderful audience,
Yeah.
sending
Also,
intentions of,
let me do this.
well, that puppy is definitely dragon.
He is, and he's born in the year of the dragon also.
I mean, how much evidence do you need? The
I know.
dragon is a dragon, yeah?
I'll probably paint him with dragon wings. It's like,
Oh, yeah. Or Halloween, you can have your little dragon puppy buddy with the dragon wings and everything. Oh, what a wonderful, sweet soul. So,
So, yeah. So it's not go it's gonna be just a few minutes,
of
and
course,
it should bring everyone into their bodies. What you can do. Oh, you would like to start with a bowl? Sure, sure.
yes, more cleansing through sound. So, giving this wonderful sound the intention of cleaning, uplifting, and removal of obstacles.
Beautiful.
Okay, let's go. Okay, so setting intention for our wonderful viewers that if what we are about to do is aligned with their highest good and it benefits them and they wish for it, may they receive it most powerfully.
Thank you. That's beautiful. So let's just start with a little meditation. What's good is putting your right hand on top of your left hand. That's according to Buddhist and Zen tradition. And put your hands on your lap. Just relax your shoulders. Having the right hand on top of the left hand signifies to the universe that you are ready to receive. And it also connects your individual self to the universal. Um, so just take a few moments and still your mind, calm your breath, relax your body, relax your shoulders, relax your face, and take a few deep breaths, very relaxed, and start feeling yourself inside your body. Exhale any tension. Inhale fresh energy. Exhale deeply. A couple more breaths, stilling your mind. Great. Now you can open your eyes and just rotate your shoulders back. Loosen up any tightness you feel. Rotate your spine. And then rotate forward. Smiling is good for the brain. It activates the brain. And now bring your arms out as if you're hugging a giant beach ball or big tree, and leave your hands very relaxed. Thumbs up. Everything is relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed. And you can keep your eyes closed or you can leave them open. Just gaze in front of you. The hands should be below shoulder level, not really above the heart. Yes. And this may be a little challenging after a while. We'll do it maybe for a couple of minutes, but this is where the work happens. When you start feeling tension and you go beyond, the energy starts breaking down the blockages. And breathe. You can feel tension, heat, tingling. Just keep your arms there for a little bit longer. Breathe. And now we're not done. We're taking it up a notch. We're going to lift the arms to the side, 90-degree angle. And again, try to keep your shoulders down and relaxed. Breathe. Just feel what's happening. Keep your spine straight, also very important. And focus at the top of your head, your crown. Allow the energy to flow in like a bright white light or golden light. And go down your spine into the solar plexus, filling you with powerful, joyful, happy light, healing light. And helps you carry your arms up as well. You can maybe feel a little lighter. Let's keep the arms there a little bit longer. No pain, no gain. Not that it's funny, but it's true. Okay, maybe another half a minute. Breathe. Now slowly bring your palms together like in prayer pose. Feel like there is a line going again through your spine and down into the earth, also the center of the earth, and also all the way up towards the center of the universe or the sun, your sun. And allow the energy to flow down through your crown into your body. Now lift one arm up, slowly up, and the other one down, and you put the palms down. So you just like this, you can't see my hands, but one is just lifted, the fingers are up, yes, precisely. There you go. And the other one is down, the shoulders are relaxed, and you become a giant antenna. You connect heaven and earth. When you practice this more, you start feeling all kinds of nice sensations like tingling on your crown or just deep relaxation and energy, more energy. And breathe. Imagine how the earth energy is coming in through the palm of your hand. And heaven energy is coming in from the top. Let's stay there for a moment. Now slowly switch sides. Arm up. And then the other arm down. And again, the hands flexed, pointing towards the earth. The other one, fingers up to the sky. Shoulders relaxed. Breathe. And stretch. Keep the spine straight. Lift up your spine. And breathe. Now you can bring the arm down. Make a big circle, gathering all the energy around you. And then like this, slowly bringing it down your spine. Feel yourself getting grounded. A couple more times. Exhale, bring it down. And last time. Bring it in, down, feel it all the way down to your feet connecting to the earth. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Perfect. I cannot do it better myself.
Oh,
Wonderfully done. Yes, that
thank
is
you.
a complete practice. So if one does this daily, it will do amazing things to the opening of the meridians, the flow of energy through the body. So beautiful.
Yes, yes. And this was the seated version. Then we can do versions standing and like some martial arts energy work and even lying down. Like the grandmasters I mentioned before, they would do, it's called a lion pose or tiger pose, lying on their back with their arms and legs up in the air and the head, and fall asleep like that for half an hour.
Wow. Yes,
Like
yes. So there's
again,
the most powerful poses are the ones where you don't move. Although the ones that you have movement and circulation, these are really good. But then in those static moments is where you really start moving and shifting energy.
yeah. And when you hold like you said, you can do this every day, and you can hold them longer and longer with practice. Like what you can in the beginning, a minute or two can be very challenging. Later on, you can hold it for 15 minutes. And that the same exponentially is how your energy improves and strengthens. And you need less
Absolutely.
sleep.
Absolutely. And well, unless you've been if it's winter, you've eaten a lot of food and you're really really tired, and then your body says, "Hey, now let's do the long sleep."
Right, right. But another benefit from this energy work is that it can be a meal replacement. You suddenly don't feel hungry because you feed from that energy around you.
Yes, yes. Oh, wow, amazing. Although I've got a weakness, which is cheesecake.
I heard.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite place where you get your cheesecake?
Oh, yes, yes. Cheesecake is the best.
Yeah. You never get tired of it.
Well, I have it probably 3 times a year, and every time I eat a whole one because there is no such thing as too much cheesecake. And once you're at it, you better go big or go home.
Oh, but only 3 times a year. I thought you eat it like
Every
all the
day? No, I'd be a lot bigger if that was the case. No, no.
time.
So yeah, talking about it is kind of little bit, well, it's not half as enjoyable, but still 40% as enjoyable.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Oh, may I ask you? I'm so curious to hear more about your dragon background. Speaking of
Oh,
dragons before, and what
so
you think, it just
of
for me
course.
the second part of my question before I would interrupt you. Do you think dragons were in this 3D realm because there's so many depictions of dragons in all kinds of cultures from all over the world?
So there are many archetypes of life in this universe. Some are humanoid, torso, arms, legs, and head. There's some that are insectoid, like spiders. There are some that are non corporeal. They just appear as an orb of energy. And then there are ones that are dragon archetype, elongated bodies. Some, as they come down the scale of consciousness, they get a little bit chubbier, big pot bellies like the Buddha. But it's a very massive, it's a very large body in terms of the size of the energetic scaffolding, or in the form of a physical body, the biomass is very large. So, therefore, it can incorporate more energy from the soul. Many master beings that enter our universe for special missions usually go for the dragon vessel first. It allows them presence in our universe and to encapsulate the most amount of soul codes. Now, about the physical presence of dragons, let's go back in time, considering that Earth did not start the way she is now. She was significantly larger and beginning at dimension 7. As the vibration of the planet was reduced, also the vibration of people, physical presence of such an highly energetic being became more and more difficult. So, from living naturally all year round in physical bodies, they were limited to appearing in reality in physical form in a very weakened state. Often they were hunted for sport. Even nowadays, random Hollywood movies, and it's got nothing to do with the plot and the story, they like to kill themselves a dragon. Now, dragons are facilitators of highly evolved learning, remembering, and magic. And so, of course, a system of control that wants to dumb down the population so that they can treat the mighty human as a hamburger will be opposed to greatly evolved teachers of any kind. This is also true for angelic star seeds. those that are of angelic nature and come into a human body, they have very difficult lifetimes. It seems the system is aware of what soul comes into what body, and they orchestrate all sorts of difficulty for them. Certain dragons are born in this universe and they are going up the ladder of evolution like any other being, and there are others that are more primordial. Before the birth of universes, they exist. And so, as an evolved soul, what would you do other than create beauty and facilitate the existence of life? And so there are many beings that, after the allocation of, let's say, an empty slot where a universe is going to be, after the death of the previous one, they convene and they decide what laws this universe will have. Constants of gravity, the discrete bands where electrons travel around the nucleus of the atom, the speed of light, how consciousness may evolve and emerge. Then there are others that bring in individual galaxies, certain ones that bring in the birth of stars and little planets around them. Then when suitable planets are identified, there's a whole process of working on it so it can sustain life. And so there are many, many levels. Nothing just pops out of nowhere. So the type of being that I seem to be, or the energy that is most prominent for me, is from the primordial void. This is the closest zone to the beloved source of all things. The void is all possibility existing in one place, yet none of it is consolidated into one single thing. It's the energy that gives rise to creation. So manifestation starts with vibration. Underneath the void we have the realm of primordial sound. As the energy gets greater and the vibrations faster, it becomes visual in the form of light. And then underneath that we have dimensions that form, ultimately trickling down to physicality. So going to the void, it's basically a superior realm to begin manifestation from. So it's particularly useful in healing work, no matter where the origin of the blockage or dis-ease is. From the void, you are at a superior position to basically remove it from existence. So the Dragon Reiki is a combination of many modalities. So celestial QiGong, so it has movement in it. Pranayama, breathing, is important here. We have both Karuna and Usui Reiki. We've got the Kujikiri. So there's a number of modalities that I've learned and put them together in one form.
Fascinating.
Movement. So for example, starting from equal energy of masculine and feminine, circling around, going towards primordial light, going towards primordial void, going to the core of the earth.
I could feel them. That's powerful, Dr. Amir.
It seems to work. And now, with many modalities of healing, distortions may occur. So our beloved Reiki has gone through so many people, and some groups have thought it's a good idea to infiltrate the symbols. So depending on who is using it and who the master is, who the teacher is, it might not be completely pure. So for this, empowerment starts from going all the way up the scale of incarnation, all the way back to source. We give the beloved source of all things a big hug and a juicy kiss on the cheek and say, guess who's back? It's us. And so then we pull a cord of light from source, come down through the void, through sound, through light, down the dimensions, down the branch of the soul tree into the soul star, all the way through the vessel, and plug that into the tanden. this gives incredible certainty and peace, because you know where the energy is coming from. And so then you may basically use it for healing work without hesitation. Of course, granted that the person has given you permission to interact with them.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes, that's a little intro to Dragon Reiki. So
Yeah,
the
it's
dragons,
amazing. And
it's
it makes
indicating the
perfect
void.
sense. That you get the purest form of energy that is untempered with.
Yes, and so there are many ways to climb a mountain. This is just my way. Maybe
Mhm.
you can eat this way or you can eat this way. You know what I mean? So maybe this is what I'm doing. Maybe there's something easier.
But it works
But
for you,
it,
so that
it
doesn't
yeah, there you
matter.
go. You actually reach where you want to go.
Mhm. Wow, amazing. Yeah. But I'm still wondering about what these dragons in 3D, that did our ancestors actually really see them, interact with them? You know how there's these fairy tales where they were
Yeah. Um,
with kings and
so
queens, or the
the
gargoyle.
last time period or experiment cycle where this was possible was before this ice age.
Okay.
And so it has made it into legend. Now, after this last incarnation, pardon me, the last iteration of humanity, each cycle is 10 to 12,000 years long. And then we're wiped out and a new batch is brought in to test different genetic and energetic codes. We were pushed down in vibration to the most severe degree.
Mhm.
Also, this corresponds with significant damage to the earth.
Yeah.
Now, before that, we had the fall of Atlantis. That wasn't a very beneficial event either. So, that was the previous major injury to Earth. Now, it seems over the Ice Age, the infrastructure of control was also damaged. So,
Mhm.
many beings that have soul family in the form of humanity banded together, and they basically destroyed many of the old pyramids,
Mhm.
removing these chains from humanity. And so the dragons, they could no longer take even momentary physical form. Between the fall of Atlantis and the last ice age, they were able to manifest in physicality for very short periods of time. So there would be places of communion, usually on tops of mountains. The priests or the monks, they would light a fire, do a certain energetic work and ritual, and the dragon would appear.
Amazing. Well, maybe when the Earth's frequency and humans rise up in frequency, maybe sometimes in the future, the dragons are going to come back into our reality.
900 years from now, yes.
Oh,
So it's been worked on. We've got
amazing.
beings that are, I would describe them as mother of dragons. They hold the energetic codes for the planet. So the planet rises to certain vibrations that their presence becomes possible again, in small numbers at first, but eventually back to the highly evolved state. It sounds good, huh?
Love it. Okay, so I guess that was our magical hour for
Oh, yes,
today.
of course. And so
And
I really, really look forward to many more of these conversations or magical hours.
absolutely,
Yeah, let's do it.
absolutely would love to. So
It's going to be
thank you
amazing.
so much, Dr. Amir,
It's
and
my honor. Thank you.
it was so much fun.
Absolutely. To be continued.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.
Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care. Goodbye.
Thank